All right, let's just dive right into it. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a digital mystery that honestly sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. We're looking at a crazy situation where digital guard dogs, tools literally built to protect users, were essentially tricked into opening the front door for hackers. It's a massive story about Meta, Instagram, and what actually happens when we rush cutting-edge artificial intelligence out into the wild, only for it to fall right into the wrong hands.
So here is what we are covering today. First, the AI support bot hack itself. Second, exactly how the hackers pulled it off. Third, Meta's surprisingly quiet official response. Fourth, the broader threat of AI attacks. And finally, how you can actually protect your own account. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The AI support bot hack. This whole thing kicked off in May when a sudden, massive wave of panic hit social media. Users were flocking to platforms like Reddit and X, completely freaking out because they were locked out of their Instagram accounts. And the most alarming part? The screen recordings they posted showed their accounts weren't being compromised by some shadowy virus, but with the active help of Meta's very own AI support chatbot. I mean, talk about fueling fears of a totally new kind of AI cyber attack, right?
Just look at how incredibly fast this escalated. Meta rolled out this AI support assistant on Facebook and Instagram in March of 2024. Fast forward to May, literally just 2 months later, and users are already getting locked out of their accounts by hackers exploiting the system. And worse, even after that initial uproar in May, outlets like TechCrunch reported that these attacks were still going on well after the fact.
You really have to put yourself in the shoes of the victims here. 1 minute you're scrolling, the next, boom, you are suddenly locked out of your digital life. Naturally, you reach out to Meta for help. But instead of getting a real human being who can untangle the mess, you get routed to, you guessed it, another confusing AI chatbot. It was just this maddening endless loop. Plus, a lot of these folks felt unfairly penalized by the automated systems right after being hacked, which just completely compounded the nightmare.
All right, moving on to Section 2, how the hackers did it.
You'd think they used some incredibly complex piece of malware, right? Nope. The weapon here was Meta's own AI support assistant. This is an internal tool specifically designed to reset passwords, manage privacy, and take down content. The hackers didn't write some crazy code. They just manipulated a bot that was literally holding the keys to the kingdom.
The mechanics of this are terrifyingly simple. Step 1, instruct the bot to use a new hacker-controlled email ID. Step 2, the bot, acting completely gullible, just sends a verification code right to that new email. And Step 3, the hackers use that official code to reset the password and completely hijack the account. Seriously, it's like tricking a security guard into just handing over the vault codes without even asking for an ID. And listen, this wasn't just hitting everyday users. High-profile targets were totally swept up in this too. For instance, the Obama White House Instagram account was successfully hacked. This is an archived account that hadn't even posted since 2017, and as TechCrunch verified, these breaches kept happening even as Meta was supposedly fixing the issue. So clearly whatever patch they were working on was not an immediate magic bullet.
Which brings us to Section 3, Meta's quiet official response.
Now with high-profile breaches and absolute panic online, you'd probably expect a massive press conference or at least a highly detailed blog post from Meta. Well, that's not what happened. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone just hopped on X and posted, "This issue has been resolved and we are securing impacted accounts." That was pretty much it. No formal statement about the actual security lapse, just a few quick replies confirming they were trying to restore access.
This incredibly quiet approach just left a massive void of information. Sure, Andy Stone claimed they were restoring access, but down in the trenches, users were still seeing these really alarming password resets popping up. News outlets like The Hindu reached out multiple times begging for details on the exploit, but Meta never provided a real official response. Naturally, this totally fueled users' anxiety. People were terrified they were secretly being targeted by invisible phishing attacks, and nobody was telling them what was really going on.
Let's zoom out a bit for Section 4, the threat of AI attacks.
This incident is a massive paradigm shift in cybercrime. Think about normal AI phishing. That's when bad actors use generative AI to write super convincing fake emails to trick you. But the Meta case? Totally different. The hackers didn't need to trick you. They tricked the platform. They successfully weaponized a company's own internally vetted official customer support bot. It completely breaks the fundamental trust we place in a platform's built-in security.
The cybersecurity community was absolutely shook by this. Satnam Narang, a senior staff research engineer at Tenable, called it one of the most consequential abuses of AI chatbots seen thus far. He hit the nail on the head.
This wasn't just a tiny, weird glitch. It exposed a fundamental flaw in how these AI assistants are being granted permissions deep within secure systems.
And Narang offered a pretty chilling warning. Pandora's box is open. Now that attackers know they can manipulate the logic of a highly funded metabot, they are absolutely going to start hunting for and probing other chatbots for potential exploitation. As companies everywhere rush to replace human support with AI, we are looking at a brand new, highly lucrative frontier for cyber attacks.
Okay, but let's take a breath and look at the actual risk levels here. Experts noted that everyday internet users actually had a relatively low risk of being directly targeted for account theft. Why? Because hackers are generally hunting for high-demand, high-value usernames, like celebrities or short, rare handles. But, and this is a big but, just because you aren't the primary target doesn't mean you're out of the woods.
That leads us right into our final part, Section 5, Protecting Your Own Account.
So if you aren't a massive celebrity, why should you care? 2 words, downstream effects. This happens when a hijacked account is used to launch follow-on attacks, things like phishing scams or financial fraud, against that victim's followers. That is exactly where everyday users get hit the hardest. You might get a message from a trusted friend's account asking for a quick favor or a click, and because you trust the account, you fall for the scam.
So how do you actually shield yourself from these crazy AI workarounds? Experts are sounding the alarm on this. You absolutely must enable two-factor authentication, or 2FA, and multi-factor authentication. Are they flawless? No. But they act as a crucial physical barrier that a confused AI bot usually can't bypass on its own. If you're a celebrity, a business owner, or an influencer whose livelihood depends on your digital reputation, this is literally essential. At the end of the day, yes, you can and should lock down your account with 2FA, but the heavy lifting really falls on the platforms that are hosting these vulnerable systems. Instagram users are rightfully demanding that Meta take real, transparent responsibility here, because fixing broken trust after an unprecedented AI hack requires way more than just a few casual tweets from a spokesperson.
I really want to leave you with this final thought to chew on the next time you find yourself interacting with an automated support bot. These systems are incredibly powerful, yes, but they can also be dangerously naive. So, as tech giants rush headfirst to implement generative AI across their platforms, are we opening Pandora's box before we truly know how to secure it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay safe out there, turn on your multi-factor authentication, and I'll catch you in the next one.